We continue to work that breaking news for you. A problem affecting flights at Miami International Airport and Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International as well.
Hatzavella's in the newsroom with this one.
And ladies, we have been monitoring this for the past 20 to 30 minutes. We have some Sky 10 video of Miami International Airport where we have been told there is a ground stop that has been taking place for the past 20 to 30 minutes because of a situation with a power problem at the Miami Terminal Radar Approach Control. With us, joining us live is Stephen Lloyd, a former Federal Aviation Administration executive. Stephen, I know you worked with air traffic control for quite some time, I believe 15 years. Tell us what is happening now as both these airports try to manage planes coming in and out.
Good morning, Hassel. Yeah, their FAA has contingency. The air traffic control facilities in Miami have contingency plans just for an event like this. And it really depends on the type of outage. It looks like after the initial outage, they put in some flow control because one or more of the facilities were affected. If the terminal radar approach control was affected, the airspace would probably be handed over to the control center in Miami. That would handle all the flights going in and out. The problem is those controllers are not as trained as the approach controllers in particular flights going in and out of Miami at those altitudes. So they're going to have to flow them in a lot slower than they normally would. The problem with these kinds of outages is they do have redundancies, but more often than not, it does affect other pieces of equipment when they try to restore it when the power does come back. So it's hard to tell until we get more information about the extent of the outage and how long it's going to go on. It really depends on the type of equipment.
And you're looking at a situation here affecting two airports. Have you seen that before where there's a power outage and now you have two major South Florida airports being affected by this?
Certainly, and the Miami Approach controls all of the satellite airports within the Miami metropolitan area. So those towers would be affected because flight data and communications would be affected by the power outage between those facilities, between the towers and the approach controller. So unless they can talk to each other, it's going to slow that down dramatically. So flight information would have to be exchanged manually. That's going to slow them down. So all of their automated controls and mitigations would not be able to be used.
Now, aside from what's happening at both airports, let's talk about obviously how this is going to affect hundreds of travelers at both airports. What are we looking at in terms of timeline? I know you're not there working with these folks, but from your past experience, what can you tell us?
Well, certainly from over 40 years of working in the air traffic control business, I can tell you that it does take quite a while. Depending on the time of day, and this is probably during the rush period for Miami, it's going to affect them for the entire day. So this will affect a lot of all the airports serving Miami. It's going to have a reverberation across the country, especially for the flights that within 2 to 3 hours. It looks like they're doing some airborne holding now for Miami. I'm looking at FlightAware as we speak. So that airborne holding is going to have an impact on those flights. If they can't get into the airport, they're going to have to divert to other airports. Hopefully the power will be restored and the equipment will be restored that was affected.
What do you tell at this hour? What do you tell travelers who are either heading to Miami International or Fort Lauderdale? Obviously, they have to think about having some patience here. But in addition to that, what do you tell them to make them allow them to get ready for what is going to be a big delay for them?
Well, of course, patience, and then just be ready for those delays, contingencies, and making plans, for your arrival when you do get to Miami. Because there's always a chance if the things don't go well and they can't get the power restored or it's not consistent, that aircraft would have to divert somewhere else. So that's obviously something that you want to let the folks that are there to pick you up, or you have to make arrangements when you get there.
And the FAA is telling us the Miami Air Route Traffic Control Center has taken over. Can you explain to us what that means? Obviously, that's a backup, but it's not, as you maybe said, as efficient as what they normally rely on.
Yeah, it is. It's not as efficient. And there are some controllers that train in the center to work the approach control airspace. It's very different. It's not the airspace that they work every single day. But they are very familiar with it, and they can get the traffic in and out of the TRACON. What will happen more than likely, since they're so close to each other, controllers from the TRACON can go to the center and control traffic from the center. So that'll help quite a bit. But again, it really depends on the type of equipment that is affected. The surface radars, the ground radars at Miami, we don't know that yet. So if they're controlling traffic from the the en route radars. They're radars that are a little bit slower in terms of rotation, so they're not moving. The aircraft updates aren't as quick. So the TRACON controllers aren't quite as familiar with that. But they can still move traffic, move it safely, which is the most important thing. It'll just be slow. That means the aircraft will get in there a lot slower.
And typically you're talking about several hours.
Oh, certainly. So the arrival rate, typically for a great day in Miami may be above 90 or 100. At this point in time, it's probably down in the 30s or, somewhere around there because that's the rate at which they can get those airplanes in there safely.
All right, Stephen Lloyd, who worked for the Federal Aviation Administration for a number of years, specifically dealing with safety issues and air traffic control issues, talking to us live, discussing what's happening at both Miami International and Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International, where there has been a ground stop because of some power issues. And as we see it live, planes on the tarmac waiting to take off, but are not being allowed to take off, and no planes are being allowed to land, which means lots of delays for travelers out there at both airports. Ladies, back to you.